Okay, friend, today we are starting our 48 lessons on essential rewards. Or not essential rewards, on just essential oils in general. The truth without all the hype. So I'm going to read a little bit from this little book. It's a really great book to have, The Essential Oil Truth. And it's by Jen O'Sullivan. It's really good, and it's broke up into lessons. So we're just going to kind of go through and do each one of these little lessons. And so each video will be its own little short lesson. Very short, very simple, but it will give you something to think about and help you to start understanding why Young Living is so important and why it's important to make sure that you're getting something good quality and you're not just using something random like something off the grocery store shelf that is just full of either synthetic ingredients or fragrances or full of water or alcohol and things like that you're not getting the full benefit of the oil itself. An oil that's been distilled 50,000 times is not that many, but if it's been distilled more than once, then you're not getting the pure oil and you're not getting all of what that oil can do. Young Living only distills one time, puts it in the bottle and sends it to you, and it is completely pure from the moment the seeds go into the ground until it goes into the bottle. That's why it's called the seed to seal guarantee, because they do not add anything to it at all, ever. And everything is completely pure, and they do that with every single product they have. So quality control for Young Living is huge, and it makes a huge difference in how you feel, and you will be able to tell the difference. It will make a big difference. You cannot compare the cost at all, because Young Living, yes, you're going to pay a little bit more for the oil, but you're not going to use near the amount as what you're using from the grocery store, because you're going to have to use twice as much or 3 times as much of a grocery store oil to be able to match to 1 drop of Young Living. So it's going to be a big difference overall. So let's dive in. This is lesson 1. What exactly are essential oils? Essential oils are the life force of plants. Basically, they're internal juices. The essential oil is to a plant as blood is to a human. While not exactly blood-like, they support the plant similarly to the way blood for humans does. The juices are called the resin gum part of the plant. The oleo. Sorry, I said that wrong. Oleo is the lipid, soluble, and volatile part of the plant juices and what mostly make up essential oils. Resin is the alcohol-soluble part. Gum is the water-soluble part. So all the different pieces is what makes up the essential oil. The word oleo is where we get the term essential oils, because the oleo part is the volatile part of the plant juice. Rather than call it oleo, which is derived from the word oleum for oil, the term essential oil is what we call it today. Volatile means a substance's ability to leap into the air. Wow. It is why all essential oils are fragrant and why you are able to smell some of the more potent oils from across a room just by opening the bottle. They are composed of, so you're really, like jumping into, the smell is jumping into the air. So they are composed of 3 major fractions called phenols, monoterpenes, and okay, this one I do not say very well at all. Sesquiterpenes. Do not say that. I'm not good at it. So we call these the PMS oils. So for myself, I say that because it's much easier. So if I start saying P or M or S, you're going to know that I'm talking about the phenols, the monoterpenes, or the sesquiterpene, whatever, the other one. There are many different types of essential oils based on how they were produced, from cultivation to distillation, and finding out which type is right for you is exactly what this book is about. So that is what we're going to be talking about. We will dive into each one of those. Now, just to give you a teeny tiny little glimpse into what the PMS oils do, We will be talking about that later on a little bit more, but I'm going to give you just a little tiny taste because to me it's just the coolest thing. And it's huge. And understanding, now I'm not giving you all of the crazy, like, ultimate facts, like the percentages and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not going there, but just the basic, what PMS oils do, just their basic function is all that we're looking at and why it is so important. So phenols are compounds of carbon molecules with hexagonal rings incorporating one isoprene unit with a hydroxyl radical attached. I know that sounds absolutely crazy. What that means is while phenols create conditions where unfriendly viruses and bacteria cannot live, the most important function performed by phenols is that they clean the receptor sites of the cells. Without clean receptor sites, cells cannot communicate, and the body malfunctions, resulting in sickness. Now, if you watched my video from my December video, getting ready for the month and talking about the different classes we're going to have for this month, I talked about frequency a lot. So go back and watch that video. It will tell you all about frequency and what that means and why that's important, which will help you understand this a little bit better. Receptor sites, like all throughout our body, we have nerves and we have endings and we have little receptor sites. These receptor sites get very clogged up. They can get gunked up from the chemicals in our home. They can get gunked up by the things that we're eating. Like anything can kind of get them clogged. And even when we're using a lot of essential oils, we can even get them gunked up. Especially if you're using something off of a store shelf, just like we were talking about a minute ago. If you use those nasty things, it can gum them up more and quicker. So you have to really be thoughtful of what you're putting on your body. You use anything. I mean, like you're putting shampoo on your head, even though you're washing it off, it's still going into your scalp. It's going into your body. It still gets onto those areas and it gunks them up. So sometimes just the simple gunking up of things can cause sickness. Some of the things that are really good to help clean off the receptor sites are things like oregano, thyme, clove, basil. Now, one thing to note is clove and cinnamon. Cinnamon's another one. And lemon and eucalyptus are all in thieves. That's one reason that thieves is so amazing, because clove, cinnamon, and are both in, I was trying to think, I guess it's all that's on this list. Both of those are in thieves, and so those clean off the receptor sites. That gets them all ungunked, and it helps your body to function the way it's supposed to. So you're not overfilling that liver, you're not over gunking up the receptor sites. So that's what phenols do. And so the ones that are really high in the phenol, that is really good. That's where understanding the science of it really is kind of cool. I don't like to give too many like numbers and everything, because it does, I mean, you can get really totally lost. I get totally lost in all the numbers, but it's really cool to help you understand why this works and what makes it so amazing. So monoterpenes, the M oils, monoterpenes are compounds containing 2 isoprene units, which in 10 carbon atoms and 16 hydrogen atoms per molecule. Molecular weight 136 for a hydrocarbon monoterpene. If you're a sciencey person, then there you go. I don't have to have all of that information, but some people like those type of things to understand more. So I like to give that little bit of information, but if you're not a sciencey person, there you go. But what the monoterpenes do is, this is really cool. While offering a variety of healing properties, the most important ability of the monoterpenes is that they can reprogram miswritten information in the cellular memory which is your DNA, with improper coding in the cellular memory, cells malfunction and disease results, including lethal ones such as cancer. This is what is really, really cool, because like monoterpenes, the oils that are really high with those monoterpenes are things like frankincense, cypress, pine, rose of Sharon, spruce, peppermint. Your highest one out of all of those is grapefruit, which is cool to me. Absolutely love grapefruit. Grapefruit even breaks down fat. Just a little side note. But it can reprogram miswritten information. So we all have our DNA. Our DNA's there. Like, that's what we were born with. That's there. But sometimes when we are doing things throughout the day or throughout our life that we bring on to ourselves, sometimes we hold on to anger, we hold on to aggravation, we hold on to hurt feelings. All of these things can be held up in different organs in our body. This even allows our DNA to be misconstrued a little bit. Sometimes it can tweak what's there, and it tweaks the cellular memory. We don't want, we've got the DNA of our parents, of our grandparents, of our everybody. All of that's being passed down. So even pains that our parents had, we've taken on that same aggravation or hurt. Those are miswritten cellular memories. Those are things that should not have really been there. We've taken those on just because they're part of our DNA. So these different oils, these particular things actually help to rewrite, reprogram some of those miswritten parts and change those. That is really cool to me. I absolutely love frankincense. There has been so many studies on frankincense. It's so cool. A lady that I heard talking one day, she had a really horrible car wreck. She was not able to function. She could not hardly talk. She could not really communicate. She didn't have she had no life left other than just being a warm body. And she started, this doctor started helping her. She did get to where she could function better. He helped her with tons of therapy, and they did all kinds of different types of things. She named off all the different things. I can't remember all the stuff they did, but they did tons of different treatments and therapies and things like that on her. She got to where she could walk again. She could talk better, but she said she had no cognitive, she said just being able to say words was hard. Being able to think and remember was really difficult, and life was just not good. It was just not normal. So she ended up along the way found Young Living, and she said she just really wanted to see what the oils would do to the brain from the doctor's perspective. So she took this oil to the doctor, and she's like, this is what I'm using. Like, she could tell a difference. Like, when she started using frankincense, she could really tell the difference on how it made her feel, the way it made her brain function feel, and she was feeling more relaxed. She was being able to think better. And so she went to him, and she's like, can we do a test on this oil and just see what it does? So he started testing it, and watching the brain function from where she was before, and this little tiny amounts of where her brain was functioning at the moment, to where there were spikes of brain activity. And it was the coolest looking at the studies that this doctor had done. It was so cool. So being able, that was a miswritten information for her brain because she had this wreck. So it was miswritten DNA. Everything was all misconstrued. Everything was messed up. But it reprogrammed that and helped her to be able to move forward. Now, not to say that every single thing that happens, oils are not going to prevent everything. It's not going to keep things from happening. It's not going to cause everybody to be better, and you're never ever going to have to go to the doctor anymore, and all of those things. I mean, I think people really do get that into their mind, like, oh, I'm never going to the doctor again. And that's not what this is about. But when you start looking at it and you start realizing the frequency of the oils that are there, the frankincense has such a high frequency that you just can't miss it. Like, your body needs it. And I honestly, like, my body craves it. Like, every day I wake up every morning and, like, it's like my body just starts saying, okay, it's time for its peppermint for the morning and it's lemon. And, like, I can tell when I don't use it. Okay, last one, and then we're going to go. So quetiapines are compounds containing 3 isoprene units, which is 15 carbons and 24 hydrogen per molecule. It has a weight of 204 AMU for a hydrocarbon sequetrapine. There are more than 10,000 kinds of sequetrapines. I know I'm saying that really wrong, but that's the best that I can say it. I'm so sorry. I kill it every time. So the S oils, the S molecules deliver oxygen molecules to cells like hemoglobin does to the blood. The S oils can also erase or deprogram miswritten codes in cellular memory. Sequetrapines are thought to be especially effective in fighting cancer. The root problem with a cancer cell is that it contains misinformation, and the S oils can delete that garbled information. At the same time, the oxygen carried by the S molecules creates an environment where cancer cells can't reproduce. That's amazing. So amazing. So that deprograms miswritten codes in cellular memory. So where the M molecules can totally, like, they're reprogramming, the S oils deprogram. So they take it away. So this is what's so cool. So this is the triple whammy when you put different oils together. Now some of the S oils, things that are high in the sequetrapines are cedarwood, sandalwood, vetiver. Vetiver is one of my favorites. Now it stinks to high heaven. Do not like the smell of it, but it is so amazing, especially for kids who are more bouncy. Ginger, myrrh, spikenard, patchouli, black pepper, galbanum, and frankincense. All of those are very. What's interesting is cedarwood is the highest in the S oils for that, and I really love it. Cedarwood smells amazing. Great when you need to sleep. It's amazing. Okay, so the triple whammy. When you put all of these together, when you put the PMS oils together, they are found probably to be one of the major aspects that are responsible for the therapeutic power familiar to the essential oil user. Like putting all of this into one. Many oils containing PMS oils have been found to be useful in addressing many illnesses, injuries, and disease conditions. So here's like a little combination to help all of this make a little more sense. So first, what the PMS oils do, first, second, and third. First, they cleanse the receptor sites. So it's like you send your little cleaners in there. They clean it up. Wipe everything off. The P oils can act to clean receptor sites on the surfaces of cells. This allows the proper transfer of hormones, peptides, neurotransmitters, steroids, and other intracellular messengers to be, like, help everybody to move and do what they're supposed to. So it cleans them off. Okay, second, they deprogram the bad information. So the S oils come in, they deprogram everything that's there that does not need to be there. All the bad stuff, get rid of that, wipe it away. So now we're clean. We've wiped away the bad stuff. These seem to work at a subcellular level by affecting membrane fluidity and facilitating oxygen transfer. So this allows for access to DNA and RNA, which may offer a scientific basis for deprogramming or erasing the incorrect information from a cellular memory, often referred to in holistic healing circles. Okay, then the third thing, the M oils come in and they reprogram the correct information. So we've cleaned them off, we've deprogrammed and gotten rid of what we don't want, and now we've reprogrammed it and made it better. This helps ensure proper cell-to-cell communication and maintain a healthy bodily function. Many refer to this as the reprogramming of the cells. So to me, I know I've probably gone longer than I was really intending to on that, but that to me is the coolest thing ever, because not only are the oils, that gives us a good description of what these oils are really doing. What is it? Why is it important? Why does it work from a different perspective? Not only does it get into the cells, like I can say that over and over and over again, it goes down the blood-brain barrier, through all of that, gets down into the cells, and really works from that point. But how? So this is how. It's cleaning them off, it's deprogramming and getting rid of the bad stuff, and then it's reprogramming and putting the good stuff back in. That's what it's doing. That is the coolest to me, and that's why I love this so much, because as you're going to see as we get further along, we're going to begin to look at what this is doing to our emotions, and how when you so many times we hear, especially if you're reading anything on the Young Living site, it always says it's uplifting, and you keep wanting to go, okay, what else does it do besides uplift? But when you really think about it, when your frequency is low, that means you're angry. You are sad, you're mad, you're upset, something's not right, or at least you may not be mad necessarily, but you're not extremely happy. So you're just at this normal, here I am, bleh, or you're just kind of like, don't care. We don't need to just not care. We've got to have vision. The Bible says that people without vision will perish. We have to have vision. We have to be moving forward. We have to be doing something. And when we don't feel like doing anything and we're just here, then begins the process of death. And just like in the other video, death is not where we're headed. We do not want death. We want life, and we want it to the fullest, and we want to be able to live it feeling good all the time. So that means we've got to keep our energy levels up. We've got to keep the frequency up. These oils help to do that. It helps to get rid of the bad and put in the good, and to help uplift and bring your body where it needs to be, all in one. And it's just amazing, and that's where we've got to get to, and that's where we've got to look at that from that perspective and begin to heal our bodies in a different way. Not healing necessarily from the medical standpoint, but healing emotionally and helping our bodies to function the way God intended them to function and to be able to work and enjoy life. That's what we're doing, and that's what we're changing. So tomorrow we will be doing lesson 2, and it will be on, don't know, let's see, the history of essential oils, which is really cool too. Shouldn't be as long as this, which I didn't think today's was going to be very long. But anyway, I had to explain those few things because I really think that's highly important for us to understand what the PMS oils really do and what that means as an overall for your body. So I will talk to you tomorrow, and I hope you have an amazing evening. Love you.